Okay, so we're going to discuss another perpetrator tactic from the civilian sleeper cell community, state, corporate, academia, sponsored, sanctioned, and covered up. And this has to do with insider information. These are civilians that are being provided access training to cyber capabilities, warrantless wiretapping, insider information, so that they know or they're provided information on certain aspects that only they would have if they were invading your privacy. Okay, what I'm going to show you here is something about the light switch. How would people know that if they were to turn off the lights, my capabilities to include this one spy cam that's supposed to have infrared but it doesn't work when the lights are out, how would they know to instinctively or to turn off the light unless they were instructed by those who do know that my capabilities with my camcorder or my spy cam or my surveillance or my cell phone does not have the capacity, once you turn off the light in the dark, to be able to identify. This is part of covering up the crimes that are being committed, the harassment. They try to hit and run, is what I call, so that it's much more difficult for a targeted victim to be able to identify the perpetrator of who's doing it, who's provoking situations, who's risking security and safety, etc. Like in this case here, this is an exterior security door that this one person who has physically assaulted me and falsely accused me and had anonymous people in this building come out because they're part of a network to try to get you, the victim, in trouble. So what I want to show is this right here. Okay, what's going to happen is immediately he knows to turn off the light. Why? Because when you turn off the light, you lose the visual of him. What I was able to do was turn on my bedroom light so that I picked up the whole series of what happened. So you can see him walking out the door, opening the door that's locked, and going out. And then you saw the picture of him coming back in and then refusing to close the door. Okay, so let's go back to this portion. First thing, turns out the light, goes out the door. I managed to turn on my light. Okay, then what you'll see is a few seconds later, this is the perpetrator that refuses to close the exterior security door. So the door's open, walks back in, and what do? Leaves that exterior door wide open. That's the security door that goes right out into the street. Okay? I've already had a transient person come into this side of the building and take a shower. But we're talking now about this warrantless wiretapping, insider information, which is, how do you know to turn off that light? How do you know what I'm doing? Because I don't talk to these people. Why would I talk to terrorists? Why would I talk to people who are trying to set me up? They shouldn't know anything that I'm doing, any filming, any of it. I don't share anything with these people. See? So why do you know to turn that off? Okay, so that's one of the residents. Remember, we're talking about a network, a collective and collaborative effort. So this happened, let me give you the date over here. This was on 8/22. Okay. So this is a guy who keeps hitting and running. What happens is there's a washing machine out there. Okay, there's a washing machine here. When you turn on the washing machine, what it does is the shower, it takes off the water pressure and the temperature. So what they do is, it's called a hit and run. So I'll go in, take a shower. They wait till I get in the shower. Then one of these residential network perpetrators will rush down and do the wash and then do the temperature. So what happens is I'm being blasted with cold water, but what's really dangerous is when they turn it on to cold, number one, I lose the pressure, water pressure, and number two, when you lose cold water, the hot water in this building is near boiling. I've been scorched in the shower. I consider it aggravated assault. because they know exactly what they're doing. These are the type of harassments, and I've had other YouTube videos that have done it. But what I want to show is this whole concept of how would this person know now to turn off the light. So I go outside because I'm showing how close this vehicle to my vehicle is. So remember, it's dark. You see, he turns off the light. Now how would this separate resident know to do that? How would anyone know that I don't have the capability once it's dark to be able to visualize who they are? You see how they try to hide themselves from being identified as the perps. These are civilians that are doing this. This is not an alpha agency. These are who they hide behind in order to commit these type of harassment tactics. So what I want to talk about is this whole concept of where do these civilians have access to the privacy of my living space? How do they have insider information that's being provided to them, and then they're being instructed to deploy and execute tactical operations in order to harass someone out of their living space, in order to collaborate and try to get the target in trouble, like myself. This is what targets go through on a regular basis. This is when you pay your rent. You should be able to live in peace. And what they do is they recruit this civilian network of sleeper cells that are instructed to deploy and execute operations in order to harass you and then turn around and blame you for what they are doing. So remember, this person should be closing that exterior security door because this leads out into a Los Angeles street. And I'm sure you've heard my recordings, and you've heard seen the helicopters that fly by all the time. This is not like, Beverly Hills over here. I'm in the southeast of Los Angeles. And then they return in, and what do they not do? That's right, they leave the exterior security door wide open. Then they're trying to provoke a situation, you see? But then they got 2 against 1, or 4 against 1, or the whole building against 1. But they're the ones who are deploying and executing the tactical operations. So like this guy here. How do you know that my camcorder or my night vision capability will be gone? And if you turn out the light, then what it does is it hides you, the perpetrator.